So when we get our fish, prepare them and buy them in here. So those that want dry fish, they buy. Those that want smoked fish, yeah. So 4 days is dry.
And then it's dry.
Unless maybe when it's cloudy, maybe it will take about 5 days. Escazu is even earlier, 70 days.
Wow.
Exactly. When you do escazu through your dates, because I've done escazu and it has matured exactly on the 70th day. And that 70th day happened to be a Friday. Oh, this is big.
Food is one of the most basic needs for human nourishment and overall survival. However, good nourishment can only be guaranteed if meals are well balanced so as to avoid two grave health problems: malnutrition and obesity and its related non-communicable diseases.
With the advent of COVID, it has proved to us that homemade food is the best. So, whether we are sick or not, as a family, we are saying household food security, we are also emphasizing on the fact that even our own children, can we expose them to the locally available foods? We go in the markets, these foods are very, very cheap. The fruits, Songole, impundu, masuku, masau, all these peaches, oranges, very, very nutritious. You're talking of vegetables, there's wondwe, kanunka, spinach, a variety.
Although there has been increased food production over the years, the threats posed by hunger, obesity, environmental degradation, and loss of diversity due to monocropping and food waste, partly as a result of post-harvest losses, continue to thrive. Zambia has not been spared from any of these challenges. However, government is making notable strides to meet Sustainable Development Goal number 2 of the United Nations, which aims at ending all forms of hunger and malnutrition by 2030. On 16th October every year, countries around the world commemorate the World Food Day. This year's World Food Day was particularly special in two ways. Firstly, it coincided with the Food and Agriculture Organization's 75th anniversary.
It is written FAO 75. Very well decorated.
And secondly, it was commemorated at a time when many countries are dealing with the widespread effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. The day was an opportunity to strengthen global cooperation and solidarity to deal with the threats which COVID-19 poses to food security and help households dependent on agriculture to remain productive. The 2020 World Food Day theme, Grow, Nourish, Sustain Together, Our Actions Are Our Future, calls for the transformation of the current food systems to make them more resilient to climate change, enhance production of affordable and healthy foods, and increase incomes for farmers.
The World Food Day was established by FAO member states in November 1979. It has been since observed every year in more than 150 countries. The objective is to raise awareness of the issues of hunger and food insecurity. This year, it is an important one because we want to call for actions against hunger, action to fight food insecurity not only in the rural areas but also in urban areas, because we know that in developing countries like Zambia, food insecurity is a real issue in the cities. The theme of this year's commemoration is Grow, Nourish, Sustain Together, Our Actions, Our Future. These themes come at no better time than now when many countries, including Zambia, are dealing with the widespread effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. It is of paramount importance that we support our food heroes, who are farmers and workers throughout the food system, who are making sure that food makes its way from the farm to our tables, even amid the disruptions as unprecedented as the current COVID-19 crisis.
Government is implementing a number of programs and projects aimed at increasing production and productivity in agriculture, fisheries, and livestock sectors to reduce hunger, improve nutrition, and increase incomes for farmers. For instance, with support from FAO, the Ministry of Agriculture is implementing a European Union-funded Sustainable Intensification of Smallholder Farmer Systems in Zambia, SFAS project. The project promotes the adoption of sustainable intensification practices, including mechanization among smallholder farmers, while fostering market linkages and creating an enabling environment for sustainable agricultural growth.
This is a project that is a 4.5-year project which is funded by the European Union. And the work that we are seeing is done in collaboration between the European Union, FAO, the Ministry of Agriculture, and the CIMIT. It is currently implemented in 5 provinces of the country, and we have got 27 districts that are implementing the project. The motorcycles are intended to facilitate implementation of the project, but also to help in the extension delivery mechanism. And they were all going to the districts or to the extension, to the camps where the project is being implemented. As you can see, we only have got a few here because the rest are already in the field and they are already with the extension officers that are delivering the project. So, as we witness, bear in mind that the implementation of the project, there is a lot of effort done by the resource partner, which is the European Union, in supporting the activities, and also the work that other stakeholders, particularly the Ministry of Agriculture and the CIMIT, are putting together with FAO in the implementation of this project.
We are committed to prioritizing investments in the key drivers of agricultural growth, which, as you know, includes investments in irrigation development, provision of efficient and effective extension services, upgrading of agricultural infrastructure, the creation of an enabling environment for the private sector, and investment in agricultural research and development.
On the other hand, the Ministry of Fisheries and Livestock is implementing the Zambia Aquaculture Enterprise Development Project, ZAEDEP, with the aim to boost fish production and reduce the country's fish deficit. The ministry is also implementing the IFAD-funded Enhanced Smallholder Livestock Investment Program, ESLIP, aimed at increasing production and productivity in the livestock sector. These projects are aimed at improving livelihoods and attain national food sufficiency.
As a ministry responsible for fisheries and livestock, we know our primary objective is to increase the production and the productivity of our fisheries and livestock in this country. So as we are doing the growth, in the growth pattern, we know we are talking about numbers. In livestock especially, we're talking about increasing the number of all species, the chickens, the goats, the pigs, and the cattle. Of course, the numbers, according to our census, which we had 3-4 years ago, from the projections we are getting from the field, I think the numbers are growing steadily. And I'm happy to note to you that actually this, the issue of export of goats to Saudi Arabia has stimulated a lot of production. We've seen a lot of people going into goat production. So we expect the figures to grow at not less than 6% across all species. And also, if you talk about as our colleagues in the agriculture sector are increasing the maize production, that has got an effect, a direct effect on the livestock and fish subsectors. As you may be aware, once we optimize on our maize, which is a major ingredient in the stock and fish feed production, we just got a multiplier effect on our livestock and fishery subsector. So on the growth pattern, I think we're doing fine. But when it comes to nourishment, like I told you, a lot of essential amino acids are in fish, and fish is one of the cheapest source of protein. So as we increase the consumption, I know we're talking about 12 kg per capita consumption of feed, but our aim is to go up to 18 kg per capita consumption, and that will really have an impact on the health of our citizenry.
Social protection programs have immense potential to improve livelihoods of the most vulnerable in society. One of the notable social protection programs is the Food Security Pack, managed by the Ministry of Community Development and Social Services. Selected beneficiaries are provided with agro inputs to enable them improve household food and income security.
Each beneficiary walks away with 2 bags of decompound fertilizer and, of course, 2 bags of urea. In some instances, we give them 2 bags of decompound and 1 bag of 150 kg bag of urea. Then we also have a legume as part of the input. We also have cereals as part of input.
Catherine Daka, a widow of Waterworks area in Chilanga district, has been a beneficiary of the Food Security Pack for 2 years now. Previously, she depended on financial help from her children in Lusaka City to enable her purchase food, which she laments was inadequate. She now manages to have sufficient supply to last from one farming season to the next. Ms. Daka firmly believes that growing indigenous crops, which require less external inputs and are well adapted to local conditions, can help to build climate resilience and sustainably reduce hunger.
Awe kusinta kuliko kwapambana na kumbuyo uko ulotenze kulima tukulya apa naona kuti monga tankala bwino kusinta kulipo tankala bwino nakwanisira mandi nikusunga azukulu kumirizi chabe kugulisa siningagulise chifuka niyanga na mbumbe amene nili nayo ndinzi ya ilina inpasa mpamvu vakulya vamene tukulya voli mateka seo ndevi natukulisha kufika pano muvabwino iva chizungu ivieni tukulya lomba vakale vitenze kupika kukula kwasu vitenze kulima ndevi na mpamvu kwa isi.
Fish plays an important role in contributing to the fight against hunger and malnutrition. It is a source of proteins and healthy fats and is a unique source of nutrients. Zambia's demand for fish outstrips supply. The country has an annual fish deficit of about 87,000 metric tons. Mukasa Agro Solutions and Fish Farm in Kabwe district is making strides to contribute to national fish production. The farm produces 6 reverse fingerlings and recently ventured into breeding catfish. Mukasa Fish Farm provides training in fish farming and offers internship to aquaculture students.
When we promote the production of fish at the household level, at national level, regional level, with the efforts that we are putting in, we are trying to make sure that the access to fish is available. You know, when you look at the fish, it's one of the protein source that is protein source food which is cheaper. When you look at the price of fish now, you can even find fish that is 25 kwacha per kilo. You see, you find the fish that is at least you are talking of even $1 per kilo. You know, so it's cheaper. It can't be compared to beef, pork, and these other red meat products. You see, so it's a very cheap source of food, and then people across the financial strains of income capacities would be able to access this protein source, and then they will improve their nutritional uptake like that. Then you find that this same fish, it is something that can be grown in a very basic manner.
Diversified food production entails the growing of a variety of nutritious foods. Integrated farming, also known as mixed farming, promotes multiple food production activities such as crop and animal production. The main purpose of these practices is to have a food system comprised of various components that support one another while at the same time reducing external inputs. Annie Tembo of Mpeni Farm in Chongwe district is an example of a farmer who practices integrated farming. She initially started with a banana plantation, but expanded her farming business to include aquaculture, livestock, and vegetable production. She currently has 10 ponds, 6 of which are stocked. She has also invested in value addition by smoking her fish and making fish sausages. A cold room is being constructed to reduce post-harvest losses. She intends to purchase processing equipment with a high processing capacity to increase volumes.
We thought of really not only selling fish, you can see how big they are, not only selling fresh fish, we thought of actually really trying to go into value addition. We smoke our fish, we make fish sausages, we make fish samosas, we make fish soup and fish oil. And we found out that when we went into that, we had a lot of customers, that especially the fish sausages, which is not there on the market, yeah, and even the fish soup. So those are the things that we're doing. In terms of the dairy animals, we have milk and we have sour milk that we sell, and the bananas. We sell ripe ones and the raw ones. So basically, that's what we're actually really doing on the farm. We have a biodigester. We are using biogas here to cook, yeah, because we found out that using Zasco, it was really expensive for us. So since we have the animals, we said, let's go into the biodigester. We are using biogas to cook, and we are doing bioslurry for our vegetables because we want actually to go organic. Because as we know that organic is really good. And we also use the bioslurry to our ponds to make them fertile. You know, we either put chicken manure, but since we have the slurry, we are using the slurry, and we have found out that by using this, our fish is really growing. You know, it grows very fast and very tasty.
Integrated farming is the hallmark of production at Chimoko Farm in Chilanga district. Backyard gardening ignited passion for farming in Christine Mbazima Ngoma, the farm's proprietor. She currently produces vegetables, field crops, rears livestock, and manufactures organic fertilizer.
70 days.
Wow.
Exactly. When you do escazu, do your dates. Because I've done escazu and it has matured exactly on the 70th day.
She also produces different varieties of vegetable seedlings using greenhouses. Mrs. Ngoma is steadily upscaling organic farming for production of healthy foods. In her view, diversified agriculture is the answer to food insecurity.
The soils pay, yes, if you do it well, yes. Here is the soil. Feed it well. It will also feed your plants well. You are able to eat, and the next person is able to eat. You are able to sell off the surplus and meet your other needs. It is there. This portion here, from there to there, when I have it all under tomato, I'm able to get 400-500 boxes in a week. If you were to put that on a calculator, it is something sustainable. Yes. But like I said, from the onset, I want to see, because it's a whole long chain. When I produce such type of tomatoes, they are going to be on the tables of so many people. There's that woman in the street who's trying to make a living by selling tomato. There's a big restaurant that has to cook for the workers to come and eat over lunch. That need to use tomato. There's the household of the chief executive. He will need to come home and come to a meal that looks delicious. So it's a whole big chain. And the people that we work with, we are also giving them a living.
Increased food production should not be attained at the expense of environmental protection. Care must be taken to avoid environmental degradation, which is a real threat to food security.
Communities live within the natural resources, this is their major livelihood backbone, if I can use that term. We know in Zambia, the major livelihood activity is agriculture because of the income that we can ably calculate as coming from agriculture. But people will argue that you have a lot of informal use of natural resources which is not captured throughout the year, from construction, the use of forest fruits, the use of fiber for construction as well, the use of grass for thatching, many other natural resource use that we don't put a value.
Transformation of food systems should promote production of diverse and healthy foods. And it is essential to reduce hunger and improve nutrition. World Food Day calls for the appreciation of food and the need for renewed global action to end all forms of hunger and malnutrition. This year's theme, Grow, Nourish, Sustain Together, is a timely reminder that we need to grow a variety of food to nourish a growing population while sustainably preserving the environment together.